The Packers beat the Rams at Lambeau in a game that was basically a pick-em on paper. Toe injury to Aaron Rodgers didn't stop him from leading that Green Bay offense to 36 points against that Rams D. The Packers head into the bye week with a chance to heal up. They're still right there in the thick of it for a top seed in the NFC and that first round bye. That LA Green Bay matchup was a top 3 battle in the Pete Prisco power rankings. Pete also had the surging Patriots up to number 7. High praise for Bill Belichick and what he's done for that win streak out in New England. That continued for the Patriots in that win over the Titans. Fast forward to today's Week 13 rankings. The Cardinals still stand atop at number 1, enjoying a bye week that was filled with some chatter about Cliff Kingsbury back to college rumors. Packers move up to 2. Rams drop to 7. Bengals are back in the top 10 thanks to their blowout win over the Steelers, but the Cowboys, who are at 12, couldn't get back in on this list after their Thanksgiving Day loss to the Raiders in overtime. All right, let's bring in the man that puts that list together, our analyst, Pete Prisco. So, Pete, what did we learn about both teams in Green Bay Sunday?
Well, I think what you learn from the Packers is that they're really good on defense. And you know, they don't even have their best players yet. That's the scary thing for the rest of the league. I mean, Jair Alexander, Zadarius Smith, they're not there. And when they do get them back, they're going to be able to pressure the quarterback even more so. And they have a lockdown cover corner. So I think that's the most important thing that came out of that game. And they also know how to coach offensive line up there. I mean, they had a bunch of guys, backups playing, and they're working against one of the best defensive lines in the league, and they really did a nice job against them. For the Rams, look, you can't make mistakes. You have to run the ball. They are not running the ball. That entire offense is predicated on getting the run game going and throwing off that run game. That's not what they're doing, and it's leading to mistakes for Matt Stafford. The offensive line's not playing well, and they were physically beat up a little bit in that game, I think, which you don't usually think of when you talk about the Green Bay Packers. So I think those are the bottom lines for those two teams. But good news for the Rams. Hey, the Jaguars this week. It's a perfect tonic to get right.
Yep. Rams hosting the Jags, Green Bay on a bye. Let's go to last night's game, Pete. The Seahawks enduring a season like no other with Russell Wilson. They lost at the football team last night. He's never lost 4 straight starts. He's never endured an 8-loss season. Both happened on Monday Night Football. So when you take a look at them right now, what changes are coming to your 25th ranked team?
Well, there could be some big changes. You know, what does Pete Carroll do? He's 70 years old. Has he had enough? And some people say the game has passed him by, that is too old school, that he wants to run the football, play good defense, and you can't win that way anymore. So I wonder if there might not be a change there of his own. I don't think they'd get rid of him. I don't think they would fire him. But I think that's a possibility. And I think Russell Wilson wants out. He wants to go to a team that is going to play up-tempo, is going to throw the ball around, is going to feature what he can do. He's not healthy right now. That's clear and obvious. He can't throw the football the way he wants to. But I do think there's changes. One or maybe both will be probably gone after the season.
All right, they're just not used to that up in the Pacific Northwest. And for the Cowboys, you had them at 12 entering Week 12. You have them only dropping 1 spot to 13, obviously dealing with Mike McCarthy and the COVID issues. But, Pete, take me through the thought process on Dallas here.
Yeah, and again, this is a team that's kind of been, slogging through the last few games. They haven't played that well, and that's the concern. I mean, if you go back to their schedule, when the Broncos went in there and beat them up, I mean, that's not a great Broncos team, and they physically mauled them. Now, they had guys down. But then on Thanksgiving, okay, all right, the Raiders are coming to town. You're going to get right against the Raiders. And offensively, they did some good things. But what happened to the defense? I mean, Derek Carr did whatever he wanted to do throwing the football, and they dominated that game from an offensive standpoint. So I am concerned about the Cowboys. They don't have Mike McCarthy this week. The joke is some people will say that's a good thing for the Cowboys. I don't buy that. And they have some other guys that are going to be missing this game as well. So I think it's this team. This is another team. The offensive line has to play better, but defensively they got to improve. They started making strides, Tommy, on defense, and then they had a real regress on Sunday against the Raiders. They got to get back to playing good defense for them to be a playoff team, and a deep playoff team.
Early in the season, it was all Trayvon Diggs picking the ball everywhere for that defense. Hadn't really seen him, of course, out there. Lots of COVID issues with this team, and as you pointed out, Mike McCarthy will not make the trip to New Orleans on Thursday night. Pete, certainly appreciated for the Cowboys, the first of 3 road games for them. The Pick 6 podcast has host Will Brinson and the Super Friends Ryan Wilson and John Breach talking about a recap from the football team, and the Seahawks talking more about Taylor Heineke eyeing the playoffs for Washington.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.